Ready, hunt!
Bob, would you explain your thinking on calling timeout with 46 seconds to go?
Yeah, sure. I thought, it's just like I was going for two. I was playing to win, meaning in my mind they're on their own 20. We have the wind. They're against it. To me, that's a good 15-yard swing. Michael had made a 54-yarder at Kansas State, with a similar type wind. That if we had just stopped them 2 straight series. They didn't have any timeouts. I felt if we could get a stop, we could get, field position and have a chance for a field goal. Landry had been hot. We had made some strikes, and I thought I felt even if they were to pick up a first down, there wouldn't be enough time. If we just stop them short of a first down at any of those time's going to run out on them, and they're too far away for a field goal. And obviously the last play he scrambles out, well, actually 2 plays, and in the first one he scrambles out. Our flat player runs off to the deep middle. If he stays in the flat, he's going to be right there to come up and get him off of the scramble, which we had done earlier in the game. He didn't do it. So that's how it goes. You take a gamble, and felt, again, I was playing to win. And and if we tackle him in any of those occasions, easy to say now, then time does run out. Well, it didn't. So it's just like one of those, if the 2-point play had gone off and it didn't work, that's a bad decision. That's how it goes.
In the pass defense, was it just the breakdowns of the safeties, or was there just a lot more involved as you look at it?
Well, I'm not, for me to sit here and a college guy to isolate, it's pretty easy to see. I mean, we had a few interferences. We had a few, obvious situations where it's down the middle, and and the safety's in position, and doesn't make it. So.
How did the corners play?
Oh, not good enough. Not good enough.
Why not give Tony Jefferson a shot back there? Why does that change not made?
Well, again, we have to process who's covering the guy down low that's running all over the place, crossing routes. You got to man him up too. Believe me, we're. I've thought of that. Okay.
I know, but I guess
Sometimes you can rob Peter to pay Paul, right? You're going to pay somewhere. So.
I guess the question is, so I think coming into the year, a lot of us at least thought that you were really good in the secondary, or maybe you just under.
For 8 games or so, we've been pretty decent. In a couple games, we haven't been. So.
What did you think of the? Good way to ask this so you don't get fined. The chop block on Roy, because it looked like on the TV replay that Roy was engaging.
I can see why they called it, and I can't fault my guys for what happened. So Roy has a guy, big linebacker, coming right at him, goes to Gabe, snaps, sees the blitz, goes behind the guard. Just maybe Roy isn't there yet, to protect the quarterback, and hits him at the same time. You can't fault the guys, you can't fault the official. It's just one of those things, and unlucky, and it's a touchdown. And it moves you out of field goal position.
There's only one line boils, but Kenny still has that ability to step up. He has the talent. Is he just lacking in maturity? I know he dropped that catch late in the game. How far away is he from reaching that potential?
Well, to say he's Ryan Broyles, you're not correct. He's not in that category. I mean, yet. I mean, could he be? Maybe. There's a lot. Maybe Ryan wasn't probably as a sophomore either. So you're projecting something that isn't there. I mean, now Kenny Stills is an excellent football player, and we love him. I think he's going to continue to do really well. But to compare him to a guy who just set the national record for receptions, I don't think you're on track just yet. That's. And again, nothing against Kenny, because Ryan at his age wasn't there either. But to say all of a sudden he's just going to be him, that's not just because he's in the same offense. That takes time to happen.
Never pleased with the loss, but somewhat pleased with the way the offense played the first game without Ryan.
No, because early on we blew way too many opportunities to scoring opportunities with penalties, with turnovers, with the drop. You know, those are, you know, instances where as a team, we have a chance to have a lot of momentum early, you know, and put pressure on them, and we don't do it. We come away with nothing on like 5 occasions that are the 30 going in. And that's, you know, so the fact they came back late, sure. But again, there's, you know, I look at the early parts of it too.
I know you can practice and people can talk about replacing Ryan, but does that help you to now have a game where guys can actually see how that affects them on the field, how much more they need to step up in areas?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and it just, you know, there's more guys with a little more experience now. You know, Camille came in and had some success, so he ought to, you know, hopefully usually, you know, the more you play, the more confident you become. So it hopefully will help.
What did you think when you saw Browse go for a throw after that timeout when they came up throwing on that second down?
What did I think? I'm thinking we had him covered. He pulled the ball down.
They called a pass.
Yeah, well, I was surprised. I thought he'd run it one more time and then throw it, but not totally surprised, to be honest with you. I thought, you know, in the end, I thought we were in good coverage. We were. He pulls it down, and like I said, our flat defender didn't stay in the flat and come up and he didn't even have anyone to cover. Could have came right up and been in position, but again, we didn't do that. You know, we lacked some discipline, void our zone, and give them a big run.
Did they change something? The first quarter, for the most part, you really getting a lot of pressure on Griffin, and then it seemed like it disappeared. Was that just Ronnell being out, hurt, or did they change something?
It's some of it, yeah. I mean, no, they didn't do anything different, and we didn't do anything different. So.
Well, Blake's running the ball so much, so well, that people forget that you brought him here to throw the ball. How well is he throwing the ball in practice, and how well?
Really well. He's made great. He's coming along really well. So now it just happens to be that right now that's what we're using him for. But we got no problem throwing the ball with him, and he's going to be like these other guys. He's got a big arm, and you know, and even this part of what he's been doing, I see it transitioning into being more and more confident at practice and the way he just watch him warm up. You see some good. You'll see plenty of good balls.
Is Brandon Williams going to help you more?
Yeah, we talked as a staff. It was good to see him come in and play well, and is being more and more consistent in practice and in assignments. And so, yeah, hopefully he can be a spark here in these next couple of games.
Was it encouraging to see those last 2 drives when we had to throw at different guys and Landry playing well after the interception?
Yeah, and as you said, seeing different guys step up and contribute, you know, was a positive thing.
I got a question yesterday. I told him I didn't know the answer, but I'd ask you, what are the possibility that when the season's over, what chances or percentages or whatever you want to say, that you might hire Mike, your brother?
That's not something to be considered right now. I got 2 games to play. I've got a full staff. Mike has plenty of opportunities, not like he's going to be sitting there without a job. So that's not something I need to deal with now. I got enough to think about.
Did you ever dream, so what you're doing at Blake Bell would be you're batting like 950 or something. I can recall 2 plays that maybe
One incompletion and 1 drop. He dropped the snap.
Are you amazed by that, and have you designed the perfect play? You know?
I'm not amazed by it because we've had to defend it with a number of people. And have we designed the perfect play? No, I'd say we copied it from Kansas State and some other people who really do it well and have done it well for a long time. And again, I still believe we need to keep expanding on it because there's more plays out there to be had. It just that these have been so effective, we haven't had to go to them, and we've got other ones ready. We just got to keep working them.
Are you surprised at how effective it's been just in the last 3 games?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not. I know how difficult it is when we deal with it, you know.
Who first brought up that idea? Was it you? Was it your offensive staff?
I brought it up to them that we needed to, you know, get into this some. And they had already been thinking about it, but I wanted to get it done.
There was a radio argument yesterday, which I didn't even think of, kicking the extra point, not going for the 2 initially. Was going for, should you overall, did you feel that completely was the right decision? Did you ever think about doing the other?
No, I was set to go for 2 because I didn't feel they could stop it. It hadn't been stopped
What was the
all,
plan?
all day. And the last 2 times we ran it, he wasn't touched. So why wouldn't I?
We gonna run the same play?
He's going to run one of the 2. Don't want to tip your hand, but
It looked like you were a really good chance to make it, Bob, but it also looked like the way your team's developed, you become a great overtime team. Because now all of a sudden, you can score in the red zone, you got a kicker you believe in. Looks like you're all of a sudden tailor-made for overtime. So is that ever entered your mind? Forget the other night, but did you realize you're a great overtime?
well, I felt we could, but sure, I'm aware of that. In the end, like I said, I felt they wouldn't be able to stop it.
What about the theory that it doesn't seem to make sense, but when you call time, they were at 75 yards to drive. Normally, you like your defense's chances.
At 78.
78, but you shrink the field to 25 in overtime again,
Sure,
percentage-wise.
there's all kind of ways now that's possible. I thought about it. I thought it would have went to overtime.
But what I'm saying is, you might have had a better chance slowing that offense with the plays they were making on you in a smaller field, in a 25 situation.
Yeah. I'm looking at Iowa State, right? 'Cause I just happen to be looking at all that because we're playing them this week. They're last in red zone offense. It didn't seem to bother them the other night, right? There's a lot of, you can look at it all kind of ways. It doesn't mean it's any more true. They scored both times, didn't they? Touchdown. They're last in the league in red zone offense. So, again, you can look at all you want. In the end, I thought it would have went to overtime. I told you why I did it. I felt we had a chance to get it back with the wind, make a long field goal. Felt even if not, that they would have ran out of time anyway. Didn't happen, so it's the wrong decision.